Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsir Namshar. On News Mongolia today, Prime Minister ousted after confidence vote fails in Parliament. Mongolia and Turkmenistan signed documents to advance bilateral relations and cooperation. Regulations are needed to limit tobacco use among teenagers. For the news, stay tuned. Prime Minister Lobson Namsrang Oyungirdin has been officially removed from office after failing to secure enough votes in a parliamentary motion of confidence. In a special session held Monday, only 44 lawmakers voted in favor, with 38 against, falling far short of the 64 votes required to retain the Prime Minister position. Of the 119 members who attended the session, only 82 participated in the secret ballot. The Democratic Party caucus, whose support could have been pivotal, abstained from the vote. On June 2nd, the Standing Committee had shown strong backing for Oyungirdin, with a 74% vote in his favor. But the Democratic Party made a strategic decision to boycott the final plenary vote. Democratic Party leader Tsogtkiril stated that party members would mark their presence and deliver statements, but would exit the chamber ahead of voting, effectively being counted as opposing the motion under parliamentary rules. Under the Constitution, the Prime Minister's resignation automatically triggers the resignation of the entire cabinet. The ruling party is now tasked with nominating a new Prime Minister, who must be appointed within 30 days. The political upheaval follows 2 weeks of escalating public discontent, culminating in nationwide protests. The movement was sparked by a viral social media post allegedly linked to the Prime Minister's daughter-in-law flaunting extravagant luxury purchases. The image ignited widespread frustration over inequality and government accountability, drawing thousands to the streets. As Mongolia enters a transitional period, attention will turn how the ruling party navigates the appointment processes and responds to growing public demands for reform and transparency. At the invitation of the President of Mongolia, Ukhnagin Khurelsukh, President of Turkmenistan, Serdar Berdimuhamedov, paid a state visit to Mongolia on June 1st and 2nd. During the visit, the two sides signed several key documents strengthening the legal framework for bilateral cooperation. A joint declaration of developing cooperation between Mongolia and Turkmenistan was signed by President Khurelsukh and President Berdimuhamedov. Both sides emphasized the importance of maintaining regular political dialogue and strengthening collaboration in trade, the economy, transport, logistics, agriculture, and environmental protection. An intergovernmental agreement on establishing a joint commission for bilateral cooperation was signed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia and Turkmenistan's Deputy Chairman of the Cabinet of Ministers Hoja Mirat Geldimiradov and Minister of Foreign Affairs Rashid Meredov. The commission would hold consolidated meetings every 2 years to discuss topics such as the economy, trade, science, technology, higher education, food, agriculture, and culture. A general intergovernmental agreement on economic cooperation was signed by Minister of Foreign Affairs Batsitsik Batmukh and Deputy Chairman Geldimiradov. The agreement lays the groundwork for strengthening mutually beneficial cooperation in energy, transport, communications, infrastructure, light industry, agriculture, and tourism. It also includes provisions for joint programs, information exchange, and business partnerships. A medium-term intergovernmental program on developing cooperation in trade, the economy, and investment for 2026 through 2028 was signed to define areas of collaboration. The program outlines joint efforts to expand trade, support the export of value-added products, promote SME cooperation, attract investment, and develop transport and logistics infrastructure. It also includes cooperation in agro-processing, construction, and veterinary services, and encourages regular business forums to introduce products to each other's markets. A program for cooperation between the foreign affairs ministries of both countries for 2026 through 2027 was signed by Minister Batsitsig and Minister Meredov. The agreement aims to expand collaboration and includes regular consultation meetings on international and regional matters of mutual interest. A memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry of Mongolia and the Ministry of Light Industry of Turkmenistan was signed by Minister Ink Bayırjadam and Minister Nurmihamat Orazgeldiev. The two sides agreed to cooperate in textile and garment production and implement joint projects. Turkmenistan highlighted its over 80 high-tech sewing complexes as a potential area for partnership. An agreement on cooperation between the two countries' ministries of education was signed by Mongolia's Minister Narımbayır Purupsurang and Turkmenistan's Minister Jumamirat Gurbangeldiev. It includes provisions for mutual scholarships, study and research support, and the exchange of information for the recognition of academic credentials. An MOU was signed between the Office of the Governor of Ulaanbaatar and the administration of Ashgabat to establish sister city relations between the two capital cities. Governor Nimbatr Hishke and Deputy Chairman Baymirat Annam Amedov signed the document committing both cities to cooperate in innovation, trade, the economy, science, culture, sports, and tourism, and to support visual and business exchange. The Mongolian Academy of Sciences and the Academy of Sciences of Turkmenistan signed an MOU to enhance cooperation in science, technology, and innovation. The agreement includes organizing joint conferences, seminars, and academic events. The Genghis Khan National Museum and the National Museum of Turkmenistan signed an MOU to collaborate on artifact restoration, training museum professionals, and promoting each country's cultural heritage. Mongolian National Broadcaster and the State Committee of Turkmenistan on Television, Radio Broadcasting and Cinematography signed an MOU to cooperate in broadcasting and cinematography. The agreement includes exchanging programs, co-producing creative content, and promoting each other's cultures. The Mongolian National University of Medical Sciences and the Mirat Galiyev State Medical University of Turkmenistan signed an MOU to cooperate in education and health services. The School of Political Science, International Relations and Public Administration of the National University of Mongolia and the Institute of International Relations of Turkmenistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs signed an MOU to collaborate on research, academic activities, and education. The agreement also includes joint studies, conferences, seminars, and faculty exchange. Lastly, Monsame National News Agency and the Turkmenistan's State News Agency signed an MOU to strengthen media cooperation. The two agencies agreed to exchange news and information on politics, society, the economy, culture, and more, and to collaborate on journalist exchange and training programs.
Experts have expressed concerns about the increasing use of cigarettes and e-cigarettes among teenagers, emphasizing the need for greater attention and regulatory measures in this area.
According to a recent study, 27% of Mongolia's total population, approximately 1 in 3 people, smoke cigarettes. This places Mongolia 7th among Asia-Pacific countries in terms of smoking prevalence. The same study found that 24% of teenagers aged 13 to 17, about 1 in 4, use e-cigarettes. This rate is nearly equivalent to the country's overall smoking rate. The World Health Organization has warned that since e-cigarette use can lead to traditional cigarette smoking, urgent action is needed to address the issue.
Tobacco is very harmful to health, and all forms of tobacco, including e-cigarettes, are harmful to the health of everyone. In Mongolia, in the latest study that was undertaken, 4,300 deaths per year is accounted as caused by tobacco, and that is around 70% of the proportion of all deaths. Most of these diseases include cancer of the lungs, respiratory diseases, cardiovascular diseases including stroke and heart failure. So there are a lot of diseases that are being caused by tobacco. And now we are seeing another problem, that is e-cigarettes. And particularly e-cigarettes not only cause toxicity, impact on the development of the brain, but also in particular it is causing a pathway for children and young adults to be addicted. So all in all, cigarettes, tobacco and e-cigarettes are very harmful to the young people and to everyone, and therefore we are all very, very concerned about this situation in Mongolia.
All types of tobacco products are harmful, and it is considered best not to use any of them, promoting the idea that cigarettes are more harmful, while e-cigarettes are less harmful is misleading and problematic. A study shows that 61% of teenagers have tried smoking in some form, highlighting the urgent need to focus on this issue. Tobacco use is a leading cause of cancer and heart disease, resulting in the deaths of approximately 4,300 people in Mongolia each year.
The harmful chemical carcinogens found in tobacco directly enter the bloodstream, which means smoking not only causes lung cancer, but also contributes to the development of other types of cancer. It has been proven that tobacco use is a cause of breast cancer, esophageal cancer, pancreatic cancer, and cervical cancer, which are particularly linked to the chemical exposure.
Tobacco use causes the deaths of 8 million people worldwide each year. When comparing tobacco-related deaths to the size of the population, Mongolia is among the countries with the highest rates. Experts warn that whether it's traditional cigarettes or e-cigarettes, all forms of tobacco are harmful to human health and strongly advise avoiding tobacco products altogether.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for Mongolia and the world major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.